DJ Akademiks. I'm checking in for www.latenightcreep.com, and I'm here with beautiful and lovely Miss Drama.
Hello.
Miss Drama, what up?
Hi, what's going on?
Everything's good with me. How are you?
Good, trying to stay cool out in this heat.
It's kind of hot out here, but we actually found a nice little spot right here.
Right.
But for those who don't know you, explain to everyone else who Miss Drama is.
Miss Drama is a media personality. She is a person who you will see, in the streets, in the industry, making moves. She is a brand. Her brand represents turning the hell up. Basically, radio personality, but more so media personality. They can see me on the gossip game. But, right now I am definitely focusing in on the brand. I'm brand representative for a lot of different companies and things of that nature. So that's kind of what I'm all about. Putting people in the hot seat.
Exactly. And speaking of putting people in the hot seat and turning up, it seems that was pretty much what you were on VH1 The Gossip Game for. Like your name was Miss Drama, of course. So
yeah, I mean it was Miss Drama. I think once people get to see me, they understand, I'm not there to start trouble. I'm there just to do me. And me, that is, I'm going to tell it how it is. That may be turning it up in your perspective, but it's really just being honest, being truthful. And sometimes telling the truth is turning it up. A lot of people can't handle the truth. And I think in today's society, you find that, it's better to conform. It's better to say whatever's going to be pleasing to the ears. But I refuse to do that. I always am very big on just saying that this is this and this is what it is. And if you may not like it, but this is how I choose to live, and I guess not everybody's cup of tea.
Exactly. It seems like on that show you were definitely being yourself.
Yeah.
Some people thought that it was kind of an acting for you though, because some people you were very sometimes it seemed over the top. Were you putting on for TV, or that's just how you really are?
The funny thing is, people who know me in real life are like, oh my gosh, that's exactly how you are. It's just funny that other people are so, frustrated, or they don't get it, or they see such a act, because it's really not. But, the honesty of it all is that everyone is picked to judge in this society. You may not know all the facts, but you have an opinion.
Okay.
You ask somebody a simple question and it becomes, well, this is what I think, rather than based upon what you are actually seeing or what you actually know. No, I don't necessarily act over the top, but people put you in a situation, and my reaction is, okay, here's what you're presenting to me.
Yeah.
You obviously want a reaction from me, but I don't like to immediately be negative. I like to ask questions. I like to pursue what's going on. So if somebody approaches me on some, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. Yes, I'm this, I'm that. No, I'm not this, I'm that. But let me tell you what I am about.
Okay.
That is me. That has always been me. I come from a family full of Caribbean. If you ever been to the Caribbean,
I'm Jamaican.
If you know anything about Jamaicans, we are very animated people. Very animated people. And so my life growing up, you don't sit there and, so let's talk about how we're going to, you say, excuse me, this is what we're going to be doing, or so on and so forth. So, it amazes me that people were surprised, but nevertheless, if that was entertaining to them, then fine. I like to laugh. I like to enjoy myself. So the animation is how I live my life. I live my life very happily, very pleasantly, very full of positive things, encouragement, honesty. I mean, I don't know. I thought those were good qualities, but nevertheless, here I am.
So it looks like you definitely you're being yourself.
Yeah.
Other people might think you're turning it up, but it was definitely entertainment.
Yeah.
You're
supposed to be entertained when you watch a show, but at the same time, I am entertaining in my real life.
Okay.
The name of Miss Drama, let's think about it. I didn't get the name. I'm not Miss Cuddly. I'm not Miss, casual. I'm Miss Drama. I've always been this person.
Turned out for what? I feel you.
People have always said, hey, you're a little bit of drama queen. I said, it is what it is. I'm always going to be honest. I'm always going to be real. I think the problem is that there's so many people who were turning down because they were afraid. They were afraid of being politically correct. I was like, you got to be who you are all the time. That's what people are looking for. They're not looking for this scripted life that you are trying to bring. I'm so articulate and I went here. I can talk about all my resume, but I felt like that's not what I would really do in real life. Do people really walk around talking about their resume? Hey, I went there, I did this, I did that, I did that. No, you don't do that. You just do real life.
So, for example, who do you think weren't being either true to themselves or actually was just really trying to come across very proper and just very politically correct on the show? Because it seems that, like, the show had a weird dynamic. It showed some, as I said, some might say you weren't being yourself, but you were being you.
Right.
Other people just, they seem very well maintained and they never got to that point. You think, who don't you think actually were being themselves on that show?
Honestly, the majority of the women. You know, I don't necessarily know all of them in that perspective to say that they were acting out of themselves. I know Jazz, or I knew Jazz rather. You know, Jazz, I don't get her.
You used to work for her or like with her?
For her? Hell no. I used to be cool with her, you know, that's what it showed on the show. We never worked together. We never worked,
maybe I got that
you know, yeah. But no, I mean, I felt like, you know, but she's always kind of been, you know, trying to stay on the industry cusp or be associated with something. So that's cool. I mean, that's her. You know, I think her blow up on the show was a little bit surprising. I was just like, oh, okay, I see what you're trying to do right now. You're concerned about other people's opinions and fitting into this mesh, making sure that if you are affiliated with this show, you need to make sure that your name stands clean or however, which is really silly because people aren't going to remember you for how clean you are, but they're going to remember how much of an impact you've left. And if people don't even remember that you were on the show, that's a problem, clearly. But I don't really know, you know, if that was her. I mean, that's the only person I really kind of knew. You know, I met Viv many years ago. I mean, she was always, you know, El Racheto to me in my head. So she was never anything El Racheto. But who else? Who else was there? You know,
How about Sharon and Angelique? Because it looks like you guys were like...
I didn't really know Sharon like that. You know what I mean? It's funny because I would always be out at events, like events that she's starting to go to now, and I never saw her. Like, I mean, I was at listening events. I was at Kanye West. I was doing all this type of stuff. But prior to the show, I never seen this girl one iota, but then all of a sudden now I see her out and about. So it's very interesting that I see her, but nevertheless, was she acting? I don't know. I mean, is she fake? Yeah, sure. Was she always fake? Probably so. I've heard stories. I mean, I'm assuming she is. I don't really interact with her to care so much, but nevertheless, wish her the best. Who else? He said Angela Yee. Angela Yee, you know what's so funny? I actually was kind of cool with Angela Yee. We weren't hanging out, we weren't calling each other, but Angela Yee I were kind of like cool. I would see her out and about. I would say hi. I would see her at the events that I would be at. I'm sure, you know, whatever. And I think she was trying to create herself a stronger storyline by bonding with other people. See, I didn't need to have a storyline where I had to be in conjunction with somebody. I stood on myself. When I wasn't even there, people were still talking about me. What does that say? You know, there was a meeting that I ended up seeing on the show where these girls were saying, oh, drama this show. I'm not even in the room. Don't y'all want to talk about something else? Somebody else got a storyline they want to talk about, but apparently not. So
did whoever the producers of the show ever kind of like get at you guys and be like, hey, listen, you guys show come on right after Love and Hip Hop. You guys got to turn this up. You guys got.
They never came to me and said that. I don't know about these other girls, but I know for me, they never said that to me. I mean, they said you doing what you need to do, which is being who you are, and this is why we wanted to have a conversation with you, or wanted to showcase what you're doing in the industry, because you really are this person. You know, I've never had those type of conversations with producers because there was nothing that I was necessarily doing that needed to be turned up.
Okay, so how did they find you to get on the show in the first place? Because we just saw you just came out of the blue to us, like the regular fans just watching. We're like, oh, gossip giving.
Well, you know, New York. What people tend to forget, every city in its own world is a small city. New York may be a big city, but when you're in New York and you live in this industry, it's a small industry. It's a very small industry. It's like high school. So nobody knows one high school from another high school. You know, if I'm in a high school in New York and you're in a high school in LA, we don't know each other. So while people here know of me and my brand and what I do, because I'm literally in the industry around the people that a lot of the girls that you saw on the show, the masses don't know who I am. So the producers, at least Mona Scott, she was aware of me. I did an interview with her at one point. I knew some of her camp. And I honestly thought I was going to interview the new cast for something else. So I didn't know I was going to be interviewed as a potential cast member.
Okay.
So, you know, that's essentially what happened. I came there, I was being interviewed by many people, and and they liked what I had to say.
Kind of called you back.
And that's it. Well, it was funny. I didn't. First of all, I didn't apply to this. I didn't sign up. Maybe some of these other girls did. Maybe some of these girls had multiple interviews. I had one interview, and then I got a contract. So let's set the record straight on that. Not that there was ever any dispute about it, but I think, you know, I never ran after this. You know, I wasn't like, I need to be on a reality show. Oh my gosh, my life is so entertaining. I need people to. I was living life.
On Twitter say like, you know what I mean, like you're trying to be a certain way because you want the camera time, or like you.
Well, honestly, the funny thing is I don't know who these people are because I really don't pay attention to what people say. You know what I mean?
Don't check mentions or anything like that.
My mentions don't say that. I don't know. Maybe at months ago when the show was airing, perhaps, but not. They're not saying that now.
Probably not now. Though.
But the point is that the majority of mentions that I received were positive. To be in actuality, I'm not sure what was out there in the Twitter sphere or blog sphere or whatever. But the thing is that I would prefer, now that I've been through this series, this whole series, and I you know, been through this experience, is that it's better to have haters. Because if nobody is talking about you, then how relevant are you?
That is true.
Really, what is the point? If only people are saying when I first started to interview people, you know, nobody used to say anything. Nobody cared. But then I started to get people like, oh my gosh, she's super dope, or oh, I hate her, or she's bitch, die, kill yourself. I knew that I had done something right. Because it doesn't matter how great you are. If you don't have haters, if you don't have people who get up in the morning, log into their computer, figure out your mention, your username, find you online, find something, Instagram, do something, figure out the graphics. Because number one, I don't even know how to do an Instagram graphic. But these people take time and energy out their day. Remember, I have a life, you have a life, right? If you take time out your day, whether it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, even 6 hours to create a single picture of making me look crazy, I won. So the fact that they hate me is like, oh my gosh, you really are obsessed. And that is awesome. Because clearly I didn't wake up trying to figure out how to make people obsessed with me. Child, I got so much stuff to do at the end of the day, and make some money and do things that I'm working on.
However, do you think that, like,
I ain't getting half of that.
You being on the show, right? Do you think that with how your relationship is or was with those other women on the show, and also how people might perceive you, you might possibly burn some bridges in the future, or like now someone's like, you know, I'm not gonna deal with drama because I know how she is.
That is such